New home and new office. I'm going to show you how I turn this bland background into a botanical beauty and how you can do the same. Don't worry, you won't break the bank. We're going to design on a dime by repurposing items from my old place. I'll also share where you can get these urban jungle elements at a discounted price. Plus, what happens when your space has no windows for your plants? I'm going to shine light on a solution to this problem for you. Finding creative styles can be tricky. I'll also show you where I go for inspiration. And wait till you see the before and after of my old place. We'll take a look at my old spot after hauling out the houseplants. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing super well. We have a lot to cover because it has been crazy moving all those plants into my new place. We're in my work from home office right now, but before we dive into anything, I just wanted to say you can check out exactly what we're going to be talking about. The time codes are on the side of your screen right now if you want to skip ahead, though I highly suggest that you watch the entire video because there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about here. But first, we're going to talk about this work from home office space in a dark corner of the new home, no windows, and it was just so dull that I really needed to really just kind of give it that extra planty oomph, the oomph basically, to really spice things up and make it look as cool as my backdrop that I had in my old place because I work completely remotely from home and I'm always in meetings and I want to make sure that my plants are seen because they're just so beautiful. They deserve it. Another thing too, before we dive into that part of it, which is going to be really cool, I have a time lapse to show you. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so you can see more fun and interesting planty content just like this. I mean, it only takes a second to subscribe, guys, Okay, so yeah, bland background in bland room with no windows. There are natural light windows coming in from the bedroom, which is on the other side, but over here, boy, not so much. So here's what I did. All right, first things first, I needed to correct something I did poorly in the beginning where I set up my desk up against the wall staring at a wall. So I moved it to the other side where I can look over the staircase and into the room. But when it came time to start piecing things together, well, let's just say that it took some effort. For instance, I needed to move that bookcase to an angle because up against the wall and sideways it was just kind of bleh. But now it was time to start stacking the crates, which I have referred to you guys before as a plant parent's Legos. Also needed to start getting some of the electric wiring around because those grow lights, well, the plants are going to need them in this darker corner, which does get some light, by the way, but not enough. So that's why I use grow lights. I use Soltec Solution and a few others like Barina, for instance. And what I'm doing here is just kind of stacking things up as best as I can, unscrewing some of the crates that I left screws in and being confused about where things should go, obviously. And so one crate after another, I just started coming up with some sort of design. By the way, crates at like a Home Depot or a Lowe's will cost you about 15 to 20 bucks, but a little hack here. If you go to a place like a Ross or a Home Goods, you can find them for like $5. So I highly suggest checking them out. So now moving around some more of the lights and the crates again and twisting them, turning them, and am I doing it right? No, I'm not. Okay, so there I am staring, trying to figure out exactly what to do. By the way, command strips, perfect for hanging up grow lights within your crates, which I like to do for a couple of reasons. One, it helps the plants continue to grow, but two, it also creates some sort of nice accent lighting on the wall, and clearly with this bland wall, I could have used quite a bit of them. Fortunately, I had a lot of those strips, so I was able to attach, I think, about a dozen of them total, and you can find some pretty nice ones on Amazon for pretty cheap. I mean, the Barina ones will cost you about $30 for 2 light strips, and the Soltec solution bulbs I use, by the way, those are a little bit pricier. They're about $95 to $89 to $95 per bulb. I ran out of the white, warm lights, so I had to use two of the extra Barina purplish ones that I had, but I put those in crates underneath everything just to kind of add a little glow. So I'm trying to figure out now which plants to put where, and I wanted to go with plants that are not lower light, but medium light, ones that can go a little bit of neglect when it comes to light and be fine. So I use some pothos, some dracaena, some aglaonema, as well as some Hoyas, by the way, epiprenum, of course, which are always really good, as well as some hanging philodendron of the heartleaf kind. I had to pause there for a minute to think about whether or not I was going to say philodendron heteroecium or heartleaf philodendron. So either or, I guess, right? All right, so now just adjusting some of the lights again and trying to figure out exactly which plants I want to go in those boxes. My dragon scale alocasia in one of them, and then I'm about to add another one a little bit later on. So I started to think this philodendron Brazil would be the perfect plant to go in the middle, and I started, giving a little haircut just to make sure that it looked really nice in there because it had some scraggly vines at my last place. But, I thought it was cute and everything. I really liked it for a minute there. And also, same thing goes with this Syntapsis exotica, which I thought would go great in here, but it didn't. And of course, I'm getting off track with that Brazil now. But you're going to see here in a moment that I was like, you know what, second layer, let's go with a neon green pothos again, because I think it clashes well with the fact you have another neon pothos above it, as well as that dracaena, the lemon lime dracaena off to the side. So you have those colors that play so well off of each other. And if you can tell above that Emmy in the bottom corner, right above that, I have a Epiprenum Snow Queen, a Snow Queen pothos, and so it kind of has like a little yellowish to it, but mostly white and green. But it plays off of those two really well. So this is the finished product. This is what I ended up coming up with, and I absolutely love it. I like the little bit of color in there that splashes with everything from those aglaonema, and also just kind of having a lot of neon green splash throughout here. Having those bright colors was important to me because, like I said, this corner of the home is like the only dark spot. And so I just wanted to add a little bit of pop with color to this space. And there's still so much more that I want to do to really add to this backdrop because I have some other cool ideas. I just don't have all the time in the world with trying to unpack and organize the rest of the place, which we're making some progress, by the way, in the living room downstairs, especially. Yeah, there are still plenty of plants around, scattered about, but you have to do this in small stages, right? I mean, because if you try to do it all at once, you just get overwhelmed and it's just, I don't know, it's just not fun. I want to tell you guys, though, one of the things where I go, one of the places I go to really get my ideas is Pinterest. I mean, it sounds pretty simple, right? And that's why I go to it. If you go to Pinterest, I just type in something like work from home, urban jungle, office, decor, background, and I have to say, they gave me some really cool ideas and some stuff that I was really able to work with. And I pulled some ideas from there, and it really helped out a lot. So I highly suggest if you are looking for a cool place to go to really come up with some ideas, and you can type in anything on there, go and check it out. So before we wrap things up, I wanted to show you, because you're so familiar with seeing my videos from my old apartment, which is in the same building, but on the 7th floor, and now I'm all the way on the 1st floor. What it looked like after I finally moved out. Take a look because you can see the difference without having all of the plants there. It was kind of like a ghost town, really kind of spooky to do that one last loop around to make sure everything is fine and dandy before finally handing in my keys. And a little bit sentimental, because I spent 3.5 years there with all my plants and absolutely love that space. And I hope that the new people who move into it will love it just as much as I did. And hopefully, they'll create their own urban jungle there too, because it's always good to have competition in the same building. I'm curious to know, though, what have you done with your office space, whether it's in an actual office building or if it's your work from home remote workspace? Let me know in the comments below. And how do you handle a situation where a room doesn't have lights or windows. So what do you guys do? Let me know because I'm always interested in checking out your suggestions. As always, I want to thank you so much for checking out another one of my planty videos. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to see more fun and interesting planty content like this. As we progress into our new home, I'm going to show you way more of what we're doing because we have some cool ideas. I'll see you guys in the next video.